Hey y'all, Kitchen Trap Queen here with this bad boy. This is a Philly cheesesteak stuffed potato. There's no words for how good this thing is, y'all. Let's get started. Okay, so what I have here are some russet baking potatoes, and I'm just gonna take some vegetable oil and lightly grease them and wrap them in aluminum foil. It's up to you how you want to cook your potatoes. You can either put them in the microwave, you can boil them, but this is the way that I learned from my mama. My mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. Okay, so just put these in the oven at 400 degrees for an hour and 30 minutes and keep them warm until it's time to plate. Okay, so what I use for this recipe is some Angus strip steak. You can use any type of ribeye or any type of frozen. Y'all, please do not use Steakums or any type of shaved beef. I tried this recipe with Steakums. I hate the way Steakums taste. They're too greasy. So please use some fresh cut of beef and cut it yourself. Also, you will notice that this meat is partly frozen. I recommend that you cut your meat while it's frozen because it'll help you get those thin strips that we need for this particular recipe. And right here you'll see that I am cutting away all that fat. You want to get as much fat as possible off of your meat, so that's what I'm doing here. Alright, so now you'll see me cutting the meat against the grain. Make sure you cut your meat against the grain. And I am trying to make my strips as thin as possible. This is why it's important that you freeze your meat so that you can obtain those thin strips without, destroying your meat. Alright, so now I'm going to chop up my veggies. I'm using a yellow onion, a green bell pepper, and a red bell pepper. I used half of each, and I cut them into thin strips. I like to cut my veggies in this manner whenever I do cheesesteak. I guess it's traditional. And then I'm going to take some mushrooms and rough chop them. You do not have to use mushrooms. If you don't like them, just leave them out. You could substitute the mushrooms for more meat if you choose to leave them out. Place your veggies in a bowl and then keep them to the side. So to our defrosted meat, I'm just going to season it with some basic seasonings. I'm using some olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. I'm not sure if I have the measurements for the seasonings. If so, they'll be down below in the recipe. If not, just season it to your liking. Now on medium-high heat, cook your steak until it's brown on both sides. You'll see me start to flip my meat after it was done on one side, but then I got frustrated because it seemed like it was a million pieces to flip over. So I just started tossing my meat all together. So it's fine if you just toss your meat, it'll get done. Once your steak is done, give it a toss with some Worcestershire sauce and remove it from the heat. To that same pan, add in a couple of tablespoons of butter and saute your veggies. Just saute them to your desired doneness. I like mine not too crunchy and not too soft. I like mine right in the middle. So just saute them until you're satisfied. Season your veggies with some salt and pepper. Yes, we're going to season every layer of this potato. It's going to be so flavorful. Once your veggies have reached their desired doneness, go ahead and toss them with the meat. You want everything the same temperature and you don't want to overcook your meat. So you're just basically warming your meat back up. All right, I hope y'all are still here with me. So this provolone cheese sauce, I found a recipe on Pinterest. I decided to try the recipe, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to double the cheese. don't do that. So I am going to list the recipe to this cheese sauce down below. I just didn't like the texture of the cheese. I feel like I put too much cheese in it, and then I didn't so basically it was a disaster. I'm just leaving this clip in here to show y'all how I did it. All I did was make a roux. I added butter, flour, some milk, and once that got thick, I added in the provolone cheese. But like I said, I added too much cheese and I didn't like the texture. So you can substitute the cheese sauce with shredded provolone or shredded mozzarella. Take your potatoes and remove the insides of them and place them in a bowl. I'm adding in some softened cream cheese, y'all. I feel like I've used cream cheese in every recipe that I've put on here so far. But I love the way cream cheese tastes in potatoes. So I'm just taking some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and cream cheese and mixing that in to this desired texture. And go ahead and place that back into your skin. I just removed the foil from the outside just for presentation, but you can leave the foil on the outside of your potato. Make an indentation and add on your cheese sauce. If you're not using the sauce, right here you can substitute it for some shredded provolone or some shredded mozzarella. Add on your steak and veggies and top it with more cheese. If you are using shredded cheese, just go ahead and pop it back in the oven until your cheese melts and you will have a beautiful creation in front of you. I topped my potato with a little bit of pepper. You can do pepper, seasoning salt, or whatever you want. And look at this, y'all. I was so excited to try this. Look, I'm using a spoon. What am I going to pick up with a spoon? So I switched to a fork so I can get all that meat. And this thing is so good. Please try this. And if you do, what I always say you do, tag me. #KitchenTrapQueen. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. I will see you in the next video. Until then.